imposter syndrome is what we end up having because we don't have that 100% faith in us, even though we keep pushing ourselves out. And once that clicked for me that everybody has it, I do know what I'm doing. I do know what I'm talking about. And I have people telling me, hey, because you told me this, I'm able to do that, and go. Once that clicked for me, I've been unstoppable.
Boom! How's it going, everyone? It's Steve Larson. Welcome back to the One Funnel Away Stories show, where I'm asking entrepreneurs about their journey, the hiccups, the ups and the downs, all the things that went through in order to actually finally make it. And today I have a special guest on with me today, Kathy Walls. Very excited to have you on. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. I'm excited to be here. You've been one that I've been following for quite a while.
Oh, great! It's good to have you on. For everyone just who's on here right now, could you just tell us about yourself just a little bit? Where are you from?
Sure.
What you do?
Well, I am from Middle Missouri, in the heartland of the U.S. And I tell you what, online has been where it's at for me for quite some time. So I started a long time ago, actually, with the entrepreneurial bug. My husband did real estate and all that stuff. So we kind of had that feel and stuff that we wanted to do our own thing, right? I think a lot of people have that will and that want. And we were in our middle 20s, and we actually got our first taste of real entrepreneurship with a brick and mortar. And we became cellular agents for a local company. And within 18 months, we grew that business into over $1 million in sales. And we didn't know what we were doing, right?
Doesn't sound like it.
Yeah, no, we were like, what are we doing? We had 2 small kids. So we were just kind of scared, but we were doing it. And then, you think, oh, I made it, right? And then the economy started to shift on us. And when that started to shift, we seen the decline and we got out. Not without being unscathed, of course, but we got out. So what happens whenever you fail? You get scared, right?
Right.
And when you have 2 small kids on top of it, we were away from home. We got scared. We ran back home. Yeah. And then my husband started doing tile and hardwood surfaces installations. And, because he's very artistic. So he was like, okay, I'm going to do that. And what do normal people do whenever they're running scared? You think, I went back to school.
Yeah.
So I went back to school and I got my degree in accounting and business because I thought that was going to be the safe play. We were kind of nervous and scared. And so I worked tax and accounting for 5 years, but I was so unhappy with what I was doing, but I was scared. I didn't know what to do. Right. And my husband came home one day and said, hey, so-and-so wanted to know if we can print on a tile. And I'm like, on a tile? He goes, yeah, just a 6x6 tile. He wants a tractor on it. And, in the entrepreneurial spirit, what do? We find the solution, right?
Way to do it, yeah.
Somebody wants something, we're going to get it. And then he was like, let's try it out. And so we do our research. We come across a thing called sublimation, which I'm pretty sure print on demand stuff. Yeah. We buy $10,000 worth of equipment for a 6x6 tile. And so started our entrepreneurial journey into e-comm. And that was about, 8-10 years ago. Wow. And yeah, so then people think, oh my gosh, oh yeah, she's got a second business. They're going to do it, right? And then I thought, I didn't know anything. I didn't know about SEO. When you have a brick and mortar, you don't have to worry about the online stuff of keywords and all that stuff to get noticed and seen. Yeah. So I just started throwing things, we were like, what else can we print on? So we found some stuff and we threw it on eBay and we thought, okay, we got listings, we'll be found. It's okay. And that wasn't the case. Mind you, I was working 70 hours a week during tax season.
On the other business.
On the other business. Yeah. And then working a full-time job. And then my husband had his full-time business. My kids were young teens, like 12, 13-ish, and I was going to school full time too, trying to figure this out. And I gave up. I'm like, we got a sale here and there. Just gave up.
Yeah.
I'm like, I can't do this anymore. I don't want to waste my time and try to get these kids through school, get myself, my degree finished and go to work all the time. And I closed the door to our printing room.
No way. You just closed it up.
I just closed it. I was like, I can't do this.
Yeah.
And my husband was like, well, if you need to take a break, take a break. I'm going to still do some research and whatnot. And I'm like, okay, I'll take a break. And I had another tax season go through, which is, if anybody in the tax season or tax office, and if you see them, that they're going bald. It's a rough gig, right?
Yeah.
I had just a crappy day. And I went in and I sat down on the floor and I had all this stuff. And I'm like, there has to be a way. There has to be a way. And there was. I just dove in. I learned. And then before you knew it, I learned keywords and SEO. And my husband built our sites. And then I went on Etsy, this little platform called Etsy, if anybody's ever heard of it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And I made over 6 figures in no time because I learned to niche down. I learned to, do my own designs. I learned to do all this stuff. My son taught me Photoshop. Mind you, he was 12, 13, showing me how to do Photoshop.
Right.
Yeah, just utilizing who I had in front of me, right?
Yeah, totally.
And the rest is history. I mean, we made it and I got bored again. Is that not crazy? Because you're like, everybody's like, what are you having crazy?
It's not crazy. No, it's part of the bug. It's the other side of the same coin, I think.
Right. I felt like I was getting to a point to where I couldn't do anymore, more than what I was doing. So, and I didn't know about, like the platforms of ClickFunnels and stuff like that. I didn't know anything about them.
Yeah.
My husband did the technical side, right? So I was more of the design, print, ship, get it out, and market the stuff. And I remember one day I was on YouTube and I came across this fella named Steven Larson. Have you ever heard of him? And it was right before the first One Funnel Away challenge came out. And I was like, okay, maybe I can, still do my e-comm, but find, this affiliate marketing, kind of learn a little bit more about that and, kind of just grow as an online marketer, right? Still do what I do because I make good money doing that. And my husband came home from work and I said, hey, so I found this thing called ClickFunnels and they're having this One Funnel Away challenge, right? And he's like, oh yeah, we've had ClickFunnels for 4 months. It's software for building, building websites. He didn't know. He's like, we're just paying for it. We don't know anything about it. I'm like, really? I didn't even know we had it. And so I just opened it up and I built my first funnel without knowing what I was doing in like 2 hours.
Yeah.
Just kind of slaps. It was not pretty, whatever. I didn't know what I was doing. I was just playing with software. Yeah. And then the One Funnel Away came. And I was like, I'm going to do this. And he's like, go right ahead. So I did.
That's incredible.
And it is. I mean, I know a lot of people see me now and they're like, oh, man, she's already made it. She's doing really well. But my journey wasn't always doing very well. We made it and then we lost it. Then we made it, then we lost it. And then we did some and we didn't do anything with it. There was a lot of stuff in between there. Those were just the highlight reels of it. I like to be transparent when I'm talking to people and let them know. But whenever I came into the One Funnel Away, I was thinking, okay, I'm just going to do, I was really funny. Somebody showed me a post of, I did the One Funnel Away challenge the first time. I didn't know what I was going to do because I did not want to do e-comm. I wanted to push myself outside of my box, right? Kind of my comfort zone. So I knew I wanted to do something with affiliate marketing. And I remember the last week when you say, okay, open up and put everything we did, the 1, 2, 3, in the prior
first 3 or 4 weeks. Yeah.
Right, put it inside there. And I'm like, I'm sitting in my office. I don't have an idea what I'm going to do. I just kind of was listening and learning and writing notes and everything. And my daughter came in and she's like, "What's the matter?" Because she's seen I was stressed. I'm like, "I don't even know what I'm going to do with this, but I want to be featured on his thing at the end of the week," which I wasn't because I wasn't ready. But she was like, "Why don't you do something with your dogs? Because I just took a picture of my dog that was in my lap at that time." And I'm like, "Okay, I can do that." So I create a Facebook page for my dogs, upload pictures and videos. I get 1,400 people almost in my group. Well, it was like 1,200 at that time in 8 days.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, 8 days. And I run an ad, a Facebook ad to the page so I can do engagement. And then I thought, what am I going to do for a funnel? So you know that I cannot stand that big flashing arrow in the funnel that it's given, but I used it because I didn't know any better.
Yeah.
And I'm putting everything in, and I do a register to have your dog, a chance for your dog or animal to be featured in the Adventures of Bear and Molly calendar.
Oh, clever.
Yes. So I did that, but then I went into the sales page and I sold them a calendar. I upsold a second calendar, and then for the bump, and then an upsell was a dog pet mat, for their food and stuff to sit on, which I can make because I have the printing business, right?
Yeah.
And the next upsell was a dog mom cup. So, and I ignite this, and because of time constraint, because we're in November at this point in the challenge, right?
It's like a year ago.
Yeah, it was a year ago.
Amazing.
I get 220 emails in 8 days. and sales, but then I didn't understand that I could send them straight over back into the funnel. I didn't understand all that stuff. So I was just making Facebook sales off of the rest of the stuff.
Right.
It was crazy. For just sitting there in 2 seconds, she go, "Why don't you just," and I'm like, "Okay." So now I can resell these people. And now this page is growing, and I have I have 87% activity in this page for pets. I mean, who doesn't like sharing their pets, right?
Sure.
Yeah. So that was my first start.
Specifically dog lovers. And then you said, hey, enter for a chance to get in and get your dog featured in the calendar. By the way, do you want to buy the calendar? And then you do a pet mat.
Right.
It was a cup, you said?
Mm-hmm. Just a mug, a coffee mug. It said dog mom on it.
That's awesome. So then what happened after that?
So after that came my e-comm. December, Christmas holiday rushes was going on while I was trying to finish this first funnel and get all that done. So then I'm like, okay, I got to put the other stuff away for a minute. I have to get through this holiday season. I have to do it. And so I took this second one funnel away challenge because then I was more prepared, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, okay,
I have do it several times that are successful with it. Yeah.
Right. They do. I did it 5 times. Yeah. And it wasn't just because, because at that point I had a plan. I'm going to help people because I had a lot of people whenever you get into the group and the community, they're like lost. And I knew some of these answers and I'm like, oh, hey, I know these answers. Right. And so I started helping people and they're like, hey, where can I find you? Well, I didn't have anything before because I held, my products were out front. I didn't need a Facebook group. I didn't need to put me out there. I put my products out there. And so they were like, where can I follow you? And I start a group and then it just keeps going and keeps going and keeps going. And then I did a beta course run of my own stuff because I've evolved so much in a year just from opening myself up into this community.
What do you mean by that? Because that's one of the biggest things I see, but it's hard for me to say that without somebody going, but you're Steve Larson. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What do you mean by that? Because that's huge.
It is huge because whenever I looked back, I had somebody ask, can I take some of your posts and put them in an ebook, and with a whole bunch of other people? And I'm like, you know what? Sure. I mean, that's free advertising for me, right? I'd be a fool to say no. Well, one of them was from my post back in February that said what my goals were. And my goals were I was so focused on doing like becoming a 2 Comma Club winner with affiliate marketing. And actually, I even wrote, you were going to announce it on the stage because you're the one that opened me up to this whole new idea, right? So all of this is on there.
Yeah.
And whenever I looked at this last week, actually, because he showed me what he pulled, I'm like, oh my gosh, my goals that's not even my goals anymore. It was like a naive way to look at things, right? I mean, it was still a great thing to do, but it was kind of naive. But I wanted to go in originally just to do affiliate marketing so I can get away from a lot of the hands-on e-comm stuff, not knowing that this stuff could help me with the e-comm.
Yeah.
So what happened to me from February to December is I still do my e-comm. I don't focus so much on affiliate marketing, even though I, include it inside of what I'm doing. But I have this ability to teach, to coach, and to show them. I mean, because I did all my stuff without a mentor, without any kind of guidance. I didn't even know there was such a thing for what I was doing until I came into this space a year ago. And so I have evolved into this basically digital marketing specialist, that helps people that are stuck and need to get unstuck or don't know where to start, or maybe they've already started and they don't know how to, amp up to the next level. Yeah. And I've had a lot of success doing that, and I actually enjoy it more
than what you originally were doing before this.
Which was, selling stuff on, which I still do, e-comm and stuff, but I was looking at it just becoming an affiliate marketer, and that's all I was wanting to do. And I was going to make my millions doing that. And I didn't have to worry about coming up with my own stuff. But I evolved because I noticed and I listened to what people are wanting from me and what they are taking away from me. And that's where Catalyst Genius came.
That's huge.
It is.
Yeah, that's huge, because I'm glad you brought up the whole transformation part of it. It's the hardest part. I really believe that, it's the models are very much the same. I mean, I'm still doing stuff I learned the first week I heard about internet marketing, but I'm a better driver, so I'm glad you brought that up, what would you say is like what was the biggest, what clicked? And now I know you transformed for sure, but what clicked business skills wise from all this journey?
I think what clicked most for me is I know more than I thought I did. Does that make sense?
It does.
It's almost like having that imposter syndrome, which I call everybody has imposter syndrome, because you don't feel like you're able to teach someone, anyone at any point, right? Because what do I know, right? I've only made 6 figures. Somebody in e-comm, but somebody over there probably made, $2 billion. What do I know that they don't know, right? And once I realized that everybody's going to struggle, which you probably struggle with it, because why? We're entrepreneurs and we push ourselves past our limits all the time, right? Yeah. Whenever we do that, we're uncomfortable. Yeah. Even though we don't show it, because we don't want anybody to know that we're uncomfortable, right? I was nervous to talk to you today, but I was going to do it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm like, imposter syndrome is what we end up having because we don't have that 100% faith in us, even though we keep pushing ourselves out. And once that clicked for me that everybody has it, I do know what I'm doing. I do know what I'm talking about. And I have people telling me, hey, because you told me this, I'm able to do that, and go. Once that clicked for me, I've been unstoppable.
That's so huge. I remember, I think it was about a year in working with Russell. I had the same realization. I know more than I thought I did, and because I struggled with the exact same thing. And people, that shocks people when I say it, but we all go through it. Everyone goes through, it's like, yeah. Yeah, that's a big moment.
It's a
And you learn
crazy
this,
realization.
yeah, you learn this confidence. Like, wait a second, not only do I know it, then you get confident in it, and then there is nothing cooler to watch than an entrepreneur like in momentum, in their
Mm.
power. It's like, holy smokes, that's so cool.
Yeah,
They change the world.
it does. It makes you unstoppable. Even the small wins. I like to hit the small wins. You don't have to have the big wins like the 2 Comma Club Award or,
Yeah.
for people in this area. I always say celebrate every small win that you have, because when you do that, your confidence boosts, you grow, and then boom. I mean, 1 year ago 14 months ago,
Yeah.
I was behind my products. I had no following.
Yeah.
No one knew me at all. And what happened? I now have a following. I've been asked to be in 3 books, co-author 3 books. I am in a joint coaching program with 3 other people, and I'm going to be speaking on a stage in Vegas next year.
Woo!
Right. Because I got out of my own way.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, hey, what would be the final thing you'd give away, just as a closing here, what would be the final thing that you would say to someone who's starting out?
Well, everybody says it, but don't compare yourself to me. Don't compare yourself to Steve or Tony Robbins, whoever is in your lane. Don't compare yourself to them, because you don't see what's under the water. You don't see the struggles up and down. You can hear them all you want, but it's still, you still have that doubt that what you're going through, they've gone through. Yeah. So, and to keep going, because think about it. If I didn't get tired of my job and went in that room and shut the door and wanting, having that want to find it, figure it out, I wouldn't be here right now.
Right. And in the middle of the kind of the crap, right? You figure out your crap. You figure out the crap
storm. And I was trying to, dig through it. Yeah. Exactly. Just don't give up, and don't go at it alone, because I probably would have made 7 figures versus 6 figures if I would have had a little bit of guidance, because I've wasted a lot of money just, trial and error.
Sure. Absolutely. Well, thanks so much for taking the time, Kathy. This has been awesome. I really enjoyed doing this with you. And congrats on all the success. You've been blowing up.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it very much.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thanks so much. We'll talk to you later.
All right. Bye-bye.